pitcher in New Jersey coming out of high school. He's from Middletown, New Jersey, and went to Middletown North. Longest outing of his freshman campaign was 5 innings of work with 5 Ks against Maine in mid-March. Check on Polkovich. He's in safely. Righty-lefty matchup. The 0-2. Nice block by Nelson. Tyler Ross, his senior year of high school, had a 1.56 ERA and that 0-5 record. You mentioned that little run support that he got.
Yeah.
Would you call him the Jacob deGrom of the league? As the throw on to second base, got him in time. Throw on to first. What a play!
How about that?
Tyler Ross hesitated and threw on to Kevin Kendall, who quickly shuffled it over to Troy Claunch. It's a 1-6-3 double play.
That was a really tough double play to make because the Bard was so well hit off the bat that Tyler Ross had to make an athletic play with his glove, looking like an infielder himself. He's got some experience over at first base this summer, so he put that onto the pitching mound and was able to translate it. And then the throw to Kendall at short had to be quickly delivered as well, just because of the hesitation.
Check swing. Jamal O'Gwyn did not go around. Worth noting, too, that Polkovich was running on that pitch. He was stealing a base, and they still were able to get him at second for the first out of the double play.
Yeah, that was another part of it. That was the that I noticed right at the beginning, and then kind of you forget about once the whole thing happens.
Sure.
Is that it was still a close play at second. So Ross, if he doesn't make that play at the mound, they only get the 1.
2-0, head of the bat, just makes contact. Push back into the screen. 2-1. Ross trying to finish his 5th inning of work. It would be his longest outing in over a year, including his season with the Crimson Tide, 3-1.
Yeah, he was pretty sparingly, despite being arguably their best pitcher. I think it was, only 25 to 30 innings that he worked this past spring.
Foul tip into the mitt, 3-2. Top of the order has been silenced here in the 5th after Polkovich drew the walk. Ben Ramirez grounded into a double play. Payoff pitch with 2 down. Infield is playing back by the outfield grass. Ross from the windup delivers. Skied into center field. Dunn has a read on it. Deloach does as well, and the right fielder will make the catch. He'll trot back to pick up his missing hat. So it's a 1-2-3 inning by way of the double play and the flyout. We head to the bottom of the 5th. 2-2, still your score. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare. Expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's ball game.
New pitcher for the Chatham Anglers is from Auburn University. It is a lefty in Jack Owen.
Were you impressed? Tell me you're impressed.
Yeah, Danny, that was awesome.
Thank you. Back to Jack Owen.
Back to Jack Owen. 1 outing this summer, and he really struggled. In a 7-4 loss to the Wareham Gatemen, he was tabbed with the decision. In 2 innings of work, he gave up 3 earned runs, 4 hits, struck out 3, but now getting a second chance just about a week later against another team in the West Division. And he's going to have to face the top of the order for the Commodores in Cantrell, Dunn, and Deloach.
Yeah, so a couple righties as well. We'll see how he fares this time around. He's a pretty good pitcher down at Auburn. I mean, that one poor start, probably just an anomaly.
Yeah, Jack Owen with a 2.75 ERA during his sophomore year, 4-2 record, 68 2/3 innings of work. The 0-1 is lofted into right field. Shielding the sun is Cabaness, and he makes the catch, 1 down.
So he gets off to a good start against Cantrell, who has been red hot. Reached base in both of his first 2 at-bats, including a double. So that's a pretty big out to put down Cantrell, because once he gets on base, then the inning just seems to be impossible for the pitchers because they're constantly looking him back.
Lefty-righty matchup, Dunn at the plate. He shows bunt, pulls back, takes a ball.
So Dunn went 4 for 5 yesterday, and just about half of his hits were pretty much bunts. One of them was a nub shot up the third base line. Pitcher came off the mound, couldn't pick up the ball cleanly, and Dunn was already ahead of the throw if there was one.
There's a ball into center field, stays up for Colin Hall. 2 up, 2 down, 2 flyouts.
Good contact there compared to, you know, those bunt hits yesterday. And then he also had a bunt hit up the first base line that he easily beat out. It was fielded cleanly and everything. So Blake Dunn is starting to maybe expand his game a little bit. He knows he's fast. He's got great contact, but when he started to struggle a little bit, decided, let me try to push some stuff, play some small ball. Maybe that's helping him too, because that swing from him just then was pretty phenomenal.
And if I'm remembering right, he had a couple hard hit balls.
Yeah.
1 or 2 into the outfield as well. So he was able to do it both ways. As Zach Deloach steps up, and he homered his last time in the 3rd inning to tie the game 2-2.
Yeah, it was a down-the-middle pitch, and it was a no-doubter.
1-0 is going to find a hole on the right side of the infield, in between Villar and Terrell. And it's the 2nd hit for Zach Deloach, who continues his red-hot streak at the plate.
Yeah, Zach Deloach is really looking to be the most consistent contact hitter that I've seen, maybe, you know, in all of college baseball, because he just gets on base constantly, and he's shown off the power. He has a couple extra base hits, had that home run, of course, a couple innings ago, but it's just so many pull shots into the holes on the right side. It's so consistent that he's getting on first base. He's having an incredible run.
$12 for his last 25 at the plate. That is just insane.
Yeah.
Over 7 games as well, so now a 7-game hit streak. That is by far the longest hit streak of the summer for anyone on Falmouth's squad. Troy Klotch, the cleanup man, has not had the same success tonight. Grounded into a double play to end the 1st. Grounded out to short in the 3rd.
Sorry, you're not allowed in the police-secured parking lot. You'll have to leave those foul balls alone. Thank you.
Again, Falmouth getting base runners with 2 outs. Their 2-out hitting is so good until they get those guys in scoring position.
They've only been set down in order once this afternoon. It was in the 4th, and it was the bottom of the order, Langworthy, Moretto, and Kendall. A couple loud outs in that inning as well, as Owen will check on Deloach. Zach Deloach, 4 stolen bases this summer on 5 attempts. The one time he was caught was a stinger, though. It was to end the game against YD at second base. The 0-2. High fly ball into center field. Colin Hall is way in, and he makes the catch. Zach Deloach singles. Cantrell, Dunn, and Klotch all fly out. As we'll come back into the broadcast booth, we're going to try this one again.
Okay.
Because we had some technical difficulties on our first attempted hit with Katie Florio. Danny, again, a very close game. Commodores now up 1 in the hit total, but they've been really good offensively. They're getting some hard contact, mainly Deloach.
Yeah, I mean, Ty Madden has been leaving a lot of pitches over the middle of the plate, leaving them about belt high, but they just haven't quite seemed to find the gaps. There's been a lot of loud outs, left field, center field, but nothing that's really, like I said, hitting walls. I mean, they got the extra base hit from Hayden Cantrell. They have the home run from Deloach, but again, they're just really not getting it too consistently.
So we're going to try again and bring in our 3rd member of our broadcast team, Katie Florio, with more on the offensive approach, particularly from Hayden Cantrell. Katie?
Thanks, guys. And Falmouth has had double-digit hits for the past 3 games. Now, I asked Hayden Cantrell what's changed, and he said it's all about confidence. They're a month into the season, and they're really starting to settle in. He also mentioned how much fun they're having, which is very clear from the interviews. I've had many of them tell me this is the most fun they've had ever playing baseball, so that's certainly something that you like to hear.
Absolutely, Katie. Thank you for that hit. And it's definitely clear that these guys are having a lot of fun. We saw it in the pregame interview. If you haven't checked that out, go to our social media and go to Twitter. Blake Dunn was the interviewee today, and a lot of guys were involved in the back end.
The attention was not on Blake
Correct,
Dunn
correct. And Katie, who is very straight-faced and hard to fluster, was laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, she definitely cracked a couple smiles.
Yeah, there are a dozen guys just going crazy. That comment is insane to me. This is the most fun they've ever had playing baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a couple of these guys have won national championships.
Right.
And this is maybe they weren't the ones saying it, but this is the most fun that a lot of these guys are having. It's something Matt Nelson said to us yesterday as well.
Yeah.
He said, just like, you know, kind of out of the blue, I could do this every day.
Right.
But meaning that, you know, he loves the lax nature of it. He's like, I love waking up, getting to play baseball that day, and not having all the pressure on me like I do at school.
Sure.
Or like, you know, of trying to win games and trying to, obviously they're trying to win games, but he doesn't have that intense pressure that you would at Florida State. So Nelson is loving it, and a lot of times in summer ball, guys, you know, think because there's no pressure, because there's no really you know, value out of it, either other than the long-term value, that it's not really necessary, but it makes it more fun.
It definitely makes it more fun. There's no question about it. I remember a couple guys from last summer. One that sticks out in my mind is Pat McGowan, a guy who was a rising senior at Holy Cross, and he had a chance of getting drafted in the later rounds, didn't end up going. But I remember him saying he just never wanted to leave. He said that this place in Falmouth and the Cape Cod League is something special. Certainly has seemed to be the case for a lot of these players as they are having fun, and the Commodores and the Anglers are both winning. Justin Robleski now on the bump for the Commodores. A great outing from Tyler Ross, who goes an even 5 innings. Allows 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. A few sliders from Robleski, a 2-1 count now here in the 6th. His last time out was a little bit shaky against Orleans. Lasted just a third of an inning. Gave up 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 runs total. Walked 2, struck out none. And that was the 6th inning that was the difference in that game versus the Firebirds.
Yeah, and they didn't really let Orleans didn't, you know, win that game, I don't think. I think really more Falmouth lost the game. And that Orleans team seems to have gotten a little bit hotter as well. They put up 7 in back-to-back games against Chatham. Weren't able to come out on the winning end of things. But these 2 teams, Orleans and Chatham, that I mentioned, they're so good, and Falmouth is right on with them.
Strike 3. So that'll do some wonders for Justin Robleski's confidence as Alex Terrell strikes out for the 2nd time this afternoon. 1 down in the top of the 6th.
And that was a brilliant pitch. He went down and away and painted the outside corner right at the knees. I'm sure Terrell was expecting a slower pitch, more off speed. Instead, he got a heater.
Swing and a miss from Cabiness, who's also been a strikeout victim a couple times tonight. And he has been really golfing for that low pitch in a lot of his ABs.
Yeah.
Robleski goes low, misses outside, slaps the back of his glove in frustration after the delivery. This game motoring by as we are in the top of the 6th, just an hour 20 into game number 1. Strike 2 tags the outside black. And Robleski, like a lot of these other Falmouth relievers, has been very hit or miss. His stuff is either completely firing or the opposite. The 1-2. Beautiful slider, froze him. Back-to-back looking strikeouts to start off Robleski's outing, 2 down.
David, I think he's completely firing right now.
I think so.
That was insane. That pitch, I mean, looked like a Ferris wheel. It looked like it was coming in from the top and slowly comes on down onto the knees, and there's really nothing you can do if you're Cabiness.
His best outing of the summer was 2 innings of work against Yarmouth Dennis. That was in Game 2 of the doubleheader against the Red Sox, as he fires a strike at the knees to Anthony Villar. He allowed no hits, no runs, walked just 1, and struck out 4. He's dealing right now. Here's pitch number 12. Swing and a miss.
Villar's not a guy who chases a lot of way out of his own pitches. I mentioned before that he was second on Miami's squad in walks. He walked a ton, and it was because he worked so many late counts, fouled off a lot of pitches, didn't swing at ones like that. But that's just how good Robleski's breaking ball is right now.
Fastball skips low and away. 13 pitches now from Robleski, 8 for strikes. Anglers have had a hard time making even contact against Robleski. Here's one back to him, up the middle. Kendall ranges over, quick throw, stretch from Claunch. Got him. What a play from Kevin Kendall to help out Justin Robleski. He gets out of the inning 1-2-3 with 2 Ks and a nice play from his shortstop. Bottom of the 6th we go. It's still 2-2 here at Gov Fuller Field.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
All right, we are back in the bottom of the 6th inning. Danny, this game between the Anglers and the Commodores really clean. Neither side making many mistakes, and it's been some solid contact. We've seen a few extra base hits, a home run. This game has been everything it's been cracked up to be.
Yeah, this is definitely different than their first meeting when it was 0-0 through the first 8 innings. And both sides with a lot of temporary players on their rosters very early in the summer. Kind of looked like they didn't really feel comfortable on the Cape just yet, especially the offenses. But this time, this is exciting. I like it.
Cruz with a 1-0 count. He fans on a changeup that dies well before the plate. 1-1. Cruz singled and scored his first time up. He also stole a base, flew out to left field in the 3rd. Jack Owen on the bump, and here is a gapper into left center field. It's going to one-hop the fence, and Cruz is over into second base. He has a stand-up double to start off the 6th inning.
Trey Cruz cruising into that top of the lineup. Oh my goodness, he has been so awesome the past couple of days. It's so funny how he just gets an off day and then he clicks, and he's now 2 for 3, a single and now a double, puts himself in scoring position with nobody out. All Falmouth needs to do now is just squeak by this 1 run. It can be on a ground out, it can be on a sac fly, it can be on anything, because 1 run will win the ball game as long as they can come out in the top half of the inning and put down the Anglers in order.
Commodores now with 6 hits to the Anglers 4, knotted up at 2 runs apiece. Jack Owen from the stretch for the first time this afternoon fires well outside to Matt Nelson. Cruz been swinging such a hot bat. Now 9 for his last 15. The 1-0. Fastball. Poked foul.
Well, we'll see if this mimics the first inning, because the first inning, Hayden Cantrell hit a double, ended up getting stranded on second base because of a double play that ended the inning. Falmouth, I'm sure, wants that back because they would be sitting comfortably with the lead if they were able to score any runs in that inning. So now a huge chance to do it later in what could be their last time up if they can.
The 1-1 to Nelson. Here's a hard hit ball to left field. Kalalau is there, makes the catch. Well positioned was the Florida Gator out in left, and that was a loud crack off the bat.
Yeah, so Florida wins that rivalry battle with Kalalau putting down his rival Nelson. But again, like with, I think it was Steven Moretto had a similar shot, and Kalalau positioned perfectly.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's luck or whether Tom Holliday knows just where to put his guys. He knows the scouting report, but it's working out.
Austin Langworthy 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Comes up to the plate. Lefty-lefty matchup between Owen and Langworthy. Two opponents have probably seen each other as well in the SEC. Here's a deep drive into center field. Hall is there, makes the catch at the wall. Trey Cruz is going to tag up, no problem. He moves to third base with Steven Moretto coming to the plate and 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th.
This is kind of it's kind of a bitter taste in your mouth, these last 2 at-bats, because you got Cruz on second. One of them, a laser right to the glove of the left fielder. You can't advance the runner. This one, a bomb, deep center field, dead center. If maybe Langworthy pulls that, he could maybe put it over the wall and right. Instead, it's an out again, but they do advance the runner. But now he's at third base with 2 outs, so you know there's no room for error. And Steven Moretto is no stranger to clutch moments like this, though.
That's a foul ball by the bleachers past the Falmouth bullpen. 0-1 the count. And this is a good sign for the Commodores, though, because they're getting hard contact against Jack Owen. They're lining his fastball up well and putting balls in play. It's just a matter of finding the gaps like Trey Cruz did. He stands 90 feet away from breaking this tie, the 0-1 outside.
If I'm not mistaken, it was Steven Moretto with the game-winning RBI
He did
against
indeed.
Chatham the first time around. It was a sacrifice fly in the top of the 9th inning. So he has 2 outs this time, which makes things a little trickier, but we'll see if he can get that clutch gene.
The 1-1 swung on and missed. Moretto's going to readjust the batting gloves, nod his head, and head back in. Nice pitch from Owen to get ahead in the count. Owen made 2 appearances last summer on Cape Cod. He was pitching for the Brewster Whitecaps, a 1.80 ERA. Here's a skied fly ball into shallow center field. Second baseman Villar is there, and he makes the catch. A few flyouts for the Commodores ends the threat in the bottom of the 6th inning. Trey Cruz is left stranded at third as we head to the 7th in a 2-2 ball game. You're listening to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
All right, to the 7th we go in a 2-2 ball game. Danny, you feeling tie? You feeling walk-off? What's the vibe you get here?
I get no vibe, which I guess that means tie, but I really don't know. This game could shake out either way.
Justin Robleski has looked great as he came up in the 6th inning in relief after a great start from Tyler Ross. Struck out the first 2 batters he faced and forced a ground out. That was in the meat of the order as well. Hitters 4, 5, and 6, who are combined 0 for 9 in Game 1. Tough day for Terrell, Cabanas, and Villar. Colin Hull 0 for 2 steps in.
0 for 9, and 5 strikeouts between those 3 as well. Cabanis with 3 of them. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in a 7-inning game. Not pretty.
It is a pinch hitter for the Anglers, so Hall's day is done. As it is Houston Morel. Also from Oklahoma State, like Caden Polkovich, he's a rising sophomore, batted .282 in his freshman year. Takes 3 straight balls from the lefty Robleski.
Yeah, this is not something you want to see from Robleski after firing on all cylinders in the 6th to deliver 3 straight balls to the first hitter he sees in the 7th. I mean, not pretty.
Make it 4 straight balls, and Houston Morel doesn't have to do too much in his pinch hit AB. He trots down to first and is the leadoff base runner with nobody down.
So how about that? Robleski was untouchable, and he still is, but nobody's trying to touch it. That's because of the 4-pitch walk. I don't know what went wrong there. I don't know what changed, but now he's putting himself into a little bit of a jam because keep in mind, tie game, last inning in the 7th. That's the go-ahead run right there on first.
Brady Smith, the righty catcher, steps in. Steven Moretto might be expecting bunt as he's playing very far in on that infield grass at third base. Troy Claunch has to stay on first to keep Morel in check. Bunt attempt indeed. He didn't pull back in time. That's a strike.
He looked back, did Smith, and shook his head, saying, "How in the world was that a ball? Was that a strike?" But it was because it hit the inside corner, and the reason that it looked like he was about to hit him was because he was already walking over the plate as if he had laid down the bunt. Again, these guys who maybe not used to bunting as a catcher, but it's a sacrifice situation. It's not a drag bunt. You're not going for a hit. Just stay planted in the box.
Smith shows bunt again. Inside again. This time it is a ball. Smith 1 for 2 today, had a double in the 2nd, flew out in the 4th. Smith looks down to his third base coach for the sign. He had an 8-game hitting streak to start the summer, was hitless in 2 games, and then broke that hitless streak tonight. Foul ball barely gets a piece of the head of the bat, 1-2.
Yeah, so doubt he'll be bunting here. Robleski doing a good job not giving him much to hit and still hitting the strike zone. Strikeout would be huge here for Justin.
Robleski from the stretch looks into Matt Nelson. Fellow ACCer. Smith still showing bunt. He pulls back, throw down to second base. Kendall leaping, and he makes the tag on the helmet. What a play from Nelson and Kendall for out number 1.
Did Nelson even pop? I thought it looked like he barely even jumped up. That was pretty much all arm from Matt Nelson, so a lot of strength in that laser. And then Kevin Kendall, how about that? Looking like a track star, making the leap over the hurdle, catching the ball midair, and then slapping the tag all in the same movement. All of that was midair from Kevin Kendall, making up for what could have been a very errant throw.
2-2 is a curveball that stays high. 3-2 now the count. What a play from Nelson and Kendall. A huge out number 1 because if they don't apply that tag, there's a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Payoff pitch. Cracked over towards third base and a line drive into the glove of Steven Moretto. Out number 2. How about this?
Yeah, this has been an entertaining 7th inning, and nobody has scored. Nobody has gotten a hit yet just because of the caught stealing on a couple pitches ago, and that absolute rope over towards third base that Moretto is able to hang with. So thank goodness Moretto was playing back on 2 strikes and not expecting bunt because of the caught stealing, or else that one would have gotten over him.
Kalalau cracks one over towards third base. Moretto grabs it and throws on to first. Somehow, Robleski faces the minimum in 2 innings of work, despite a first walk in the 7th. Then a huge play on a caught stealing from Nelson to Kevin Kendall. To the bottom of the 7th we go. 2-2 is your score.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Nine, 1, and 2 due up for the Commodores here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Kevin Kendall, Hayden Cantrell, and Blake Dunn with Jack Owen on the mound. 2-2 ball game and a chance for the Commodores to have their first walk-off of the year. Kendall with a beautiful bunt up the first base line. He's going to beat it. Did he get the tag? Yes, he did. Whoa. What a play from Terrell. I spoke too soon saying that Kendall had gotten past him because Jack Owen was well behind moving over to the bag. Terrell dives forward and somehow slaps Kendall on the leg. One down.
Alex Terrell listed at 6'1", but playing like he's 8 foot. Because, I mean, really, some of these stretches he's had to make, it seems like the left side of the infield for Chatham, always throwing high throws to first base. He's had to tap the toes on the first base bag a couple of times, just barely. And then that one, full extension, swan dive. Pretty impressive from the big boy.
Chopper into shallow short. Ramirez, quick throw. He beat it out. Wild throw. Cantrell is going to move on to second. Picked up by Brady Smith. That is a hit and an E6. Ben Ramirez tried to shuffle it over, rushed the throw, and now Hayden Cantrell, the winning run, is in scoring position.
This game just keeps getting better, and they haven't scored runs since the 3rd inning. This is insane. This is so entertaining right now after the athletic play from Terrell, just barely getting Kendall on a beautiful bunt. Hayden Cantrell swings at the very next pitch. It's a similar kind of like a bunt, I guess you could say, because of how slowly on the infield it was hit. Beats it out, gets second base. This is crazy. I like it.
Let's add to the craziness, Danny. How about an intentional walk?
First we've seen all season.
First we have seen all season.
To face Deloach?
To face Zach Deloach.
What? It puts a double play in order, but, like, come on.
One thing I want to point out. A couple of the walk-offs that we saw last year were preceded by an intentional walk.
Yeah.
The Davis Sims 3-run home run in the 10th inning against Bourne. The walk-off in the playoffs, Game 2 against Hyannis. See if the trend continues to 2019. Deloach watches a slider outside, 1-0.
Yeah, this is by far the best hitter on Falmouth's roster as a whole, and the hottest one right now, too, with a 7-game hitting streak, 2 more hits today. Already has a home run. This is a definite risk. Also lefty-lefty matchup, too.
Owen from the stretch. Misses outside, 2-0. And as if Deloach needed any more ammo, he now has a 2-0 count, and Owen's going to have to find the zone soon.
Yeah, he's keeping everything outside because, as I mentioned, his last at-bat, Deloach is a pull hitter, puts a lot of stuff through the 4-3 hole, so if you keep it outside, you can maybe get him to roll over.
Ball just low, says home plate umpire Mike Finn, and 3-0 is the count. Keep in mind, anglers could scoot away from this half inning if they somehow manage a double play, but a lot of speed on the base paths, 2 of the fastest guys in the lineup in Cantrell and Dunn on second and first respectively. Owen looking back to Cantrell a couple times, lifts his right leg and delivers. Strike 1 at the knees. Deloach didn't like it, neither did the Commodores, but now a 3-1 count.
That was a great pitch because even on 3-0, he still didn't give him anything too good to hit. Still painted the outside corner and kept it right around the knees. And Dunn is definitely pitching very carefully to Deloach, but at the same time, if you put him on base, I mean, a fly ball will win the game.
Jack Owens in a jam. He's going to need some help. Here's the 3-1. Foul tipped. And that'll help. 3-2. A K here would be huge.
That was a juicy, juicy pitch, but it looked like a changeup that completely bottomed out right when it hit the plate. Deloach was ready to nuke that one, and all of a sudden it ricochets off the bottom of his barrel because of the falling action.
Jack Owen tabbed at the loss in his first outing of the summer against Wareham, trying to avoid a second here this afternoon. Here's a single that's going to get into right field. Cabaness is coming in. Hayden Cantrell's rounding. Throw to the plate high, and the Commodores win. 3-2 is your final. Zach Deloach with the walk-off single.
Who else but Zach Deloach? I mean, come on. The guy continues to rake. Falmouth now in a dog pile over by first base as they are victorious in Game 1 thanks to the all-star that they have in Deloach. 3 for 3 yet again. 3 of his last 4 games played, he's gone 3 for 3. This is just silly at this point, and he delivers yet again now in the clutchest moment of his summer. Keep in mind, he also had the game-tying home run back in the 3rd inning. That's important, too, because it set him up for this win right here. Deloach is just by and far incredible right now for the Doors, and this is such a fun win. Great job in the first game to get this victory.
Welcome back into the press box. That was a fun game. Probably the most fun.
Too.
It was a quick one. Only lasted about an hour and 45 minutes. David Korzanowski joined alongside Danny LaRose. If you're watching during this Game 1 of the doubleheader on a Friday afternoon, we're glad that you are because that was so much fun. Danny, you hit on it. Player of the game in that one is Zach Deloach. Just talk about how great he's been offensively and what he's done for this team.
I mean, he's so consistent. That's the thing. It's just every single game he's getting hits, and he's getting multiple hits. Like I mentioned, 3 of his last 4 games, he's been 3 for 3. And just about everything he hits, if it's not, going over the wall like he had one today, it's going through the hole on between second and first. The 4-3 hole, I mentioned it during his at-bat, is what he keeps shooting at. And I think Chatham knew that. I think that they wanted to get that ground ball right there, but get it further into double play depth. That's why Owen was keeping everything on the outside corner, because if you keep it outside to a lefty, he can roll over on it, chop it right at the second baseman, easy double play, right? No. Instead, Zach Deloach with a very good eye, as he's shown all summer long, gets a pitch middle in, and he pulls it further than where Villar is playing, splits the hole perfectly, and there's nothing you can do with Hayden Cantrell rounding third base. So Zach Deloach, just a very good situational hitter, shooting it where guys are not, and there's nothing he can do wrong right now.
He finishes with 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Danny, I quickly want to hit on the pitching, as Ross was very great, and so was Justin Robleski in relief.
Yeah, Tyler Ross really only one poor inning. It was the 3rd inning where he allowed back-to-back singles. One of them brought home 2 runs. He was losing at that point 2-1, quickly got it back thanks to Deloach, and he settled down nicely after that with a 1-2-3 inning. His first inning, a little bit of trouble as well, worked out of a jam. His best stuff was when guys were on the base paths, so that's impressive for Tyler Ross. And Justin Robleski really did nothing wrong. A 1-2-3 inning in the 6th where he could not throw a ball. And then in the 7th, it was a wacky 7th, got caught stealing on a pretty athletic play by Kevin Kendall. Got a couple lasers over to third base, but Justin Robleski looked pretty great as well, and he deserves the win.
The Commodores snap the Anglers' 5-game winning streak and move their winning streak to 4 games. They score 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Chatham, 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error for the visiting Anglers. And that will wrap it up. Getting the win for the Commodores is Justin Robleski. Talk about a bounce back after the loss against Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
And getting the loss is Jack Owen for Chatham. He moves to 0-2 on the season. We'll be back in about an hour and 15 minutes here on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. For Katie Florio, Danny LaRose, and Tony Bianco, I'm David Korzanowski saying so long from Gov Fuller Field